back another week. Another week live here. We got the countdown thing going. No one's watching yet, but I'm guessing they will be watching at some point because we have another guest this week.
We got a big man coming in.
We talked about it earlier in the week, and then we were like, who's going to reach out to him? Right?
Listen, we willed it into fruition.
Yes, we did. And we will talk about some other events with this person once they come in. They've got some little stuff going on. They're going to join us here as soon as they can. We've sent the link out, and hopefully they'll be able to join us here very soon. And that is the one and only, as I said in the post, ACL legend.
Not even just ACL legend, cornhole legend. Let's be honest. I mean, the second most famous person in Chicago.
Who's first?
He was the guy that played basketball.
Oh, okay, yeah. He got the nickname from Jay, right? The
He stole Rubin's nickname and put it on some shoes and made billions of dollars.
Yep. Which I probably spent like thousands on my kid for shoes. Keaton doesn't live in Chicago.
Who?
That guy, right? The guy that's in that chat right there. Yeah, so we're going to have Jay Rubin on the show here later on in a little bit to talk. That's going to be exciting because we've got some other stuff to talk about when he comes on, because there's a situation that has come up that we'll talk about. That,
listen, for all of you that can't throw a bag, put some questions in the chat for Jay when we get there, because guess what? This is going to be epic.
Yep.
Listen, between me and Doug, we hounded him for 6 months to come out of retirement and talk to us. And we finally wore him down enough to come on with us tonight.
Just give it up. Just stop messaging me. Give it up. And it's...
He's like,
it's happened.
If you two fools leave me alone, I'll come on for 20 minutes.
Well, hopefully it's a little longer, because we got a lot of stuff to talk, because we can talk cornhole. We can talk... He's a big basketball guy. We can talk basketball. We can talk
headphone.
I can talk headphone.
He wears a lot of headphones when he plays.
Keaton's already got the question in the chat already. He's just not even knowing how to go. Listen,
he's excited.
Oh, we got Candy in the chat as well. But so we can talk cornhole. We can talk basketball. We can even talk. I can't talk right now, but we can talk later. Card collecting, because he is a big sports card collector.
Yes, he is. He loves his cards, loves his basketball, loves the shoes. I mean, listen, he's got quite an extensive collection of shoes. I mean, listen, my wife yelled at me because I have like 5 sets of shoes, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I need like different ones for different times.
My wife's the same way. I got 2 pairs of Airmail 1s. I got my red pair and my yellow pair.
You fighting in your Air Force Ones?
I've been Mr. Stacy Moore told me I may be the only person that still wears them, but hey, I've got them.
I had to bite my tongue there just so me and Stacy stay friends.
I'm not happy with Mr. Spencer right now. I see that he's in the chat.
Who?
I was told Mr. Andrew Spencer. I was told that he threw so many of this type of throw that they've changed it from a corn dog to a Spencer.
Ooh.
Today is what I was told. Because I didn't think Andrew was that old, because he played in the Masters division.
Andrew Spencer played in the Masters division?
Masters division.
Wait, but it wasn't a fishing tournament, right?
No.
No, so it wasn't the Master.
Yep. Yep, I got it. He let me see where he
Oh, look, Simtree.
He's in the YouTube chat. Trev's in the YouTube chat.
Nice. Love my guitar peeps.
Yep. That was one because Cornhole Newfoundland had their thing today. So the Master Mr. Derek Barrett won that all.
I love my soundboard. It's the greatest thing ever.
I need to get some of those there in the soundboard here. I was going through some sounds earlier. 40 times is nothing. Come on, that's like nothing at all.
That's a down and back for Doug.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like one game.
Yeah. Listen, he threw like 82 of them when he played friggin' Trey that one time.
I don't remember that.
Listen, I almost lost my voice calling that game. It was so bad.
Don't remember that at all. Don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and you weren't drinking.
No.
There's a lot of games I forgot.
But I was rushed. I didn't get a chance to warm up. We talked to Trey about doing that there, and he's like, "Oh, if we're doing it, we got to do it now because I'm leaving tomorrow." And I was like, "Let's go."
I don't know, Doug. I don't know. That's kind of, as my daughter would say, your story is a little sus.
It's all true. It's all true. It's all true. Like when I wear my shirt, my Uncle Cy shirt from Duck Dynasty. Everything I say is 95% truthful.
Listen, but you and Uncle Cy have about the same bag.
If I can't say we got like the same hair and same beard when I grow it.
No, but if you ever watch the video of him throwing bags in the warehouse down at Duck Dynasty, you guys have about the same bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think his was a little flatter though.
Yeah, mine's kind of like a duck.
Yeah, a dead duck.
It's things. And I sometimes especially when we're camping, we throw. I have like a blue pitcher of iced tea that I'll have, and I kind of really portray that.
Is it spiked iced tea?
Sometimes.
Well, because to be like Uncle Cy, it's got to have a little something extra in there.
Sometimes I just.
I'm not saying to throw bad. I'm just saying to like have fun.
Yeah. Oh. So I've been stuck in a hockey rink for 2 weeks now.
Well, Doug,
dealing with stuff with my kid.
You're Canadian. You've been stuck in a hockey rink almost your whole life.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So 35 years I've been stuck in a rink because I've been working in a rink for 35 years.
Yeah. Listen, you drop your son off at one rink and go to work at the next one.
Oh, last week I was in 3 rinks in like 5 hours. It was deadly. But yeah, so I didn't really get a chance to watch much cornhole last weekend. I know Mr. Hisner, who I think I don't know what I just did there. Oh, there it goes. I somehow took all the comments out, and I was like, I got nothing. Like the screen was blank.
Well, if you look at the side, it says private chat, comments, and then recording, so you can change it. Right.
Yeah, but my whole screen went blank.
Well, that's when you hit the power button.
That was the Eric Charney show. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen when Jay joins us, because I was upstairs. I've turned off every piece of electronic device, all the Wi-Fi is just right onto here.
Listen, here's the thing. I've called in multiple favors to make this happen tonight. We cannot lose power or the internets or anything else.
No, not at all.
Listen, I already had to promise him that I'll be his partner for at least 3 tournaments.
That'll be interesting for him.
Yeah, there's no incentive right there. That's no incentive. No, it is great. So right now he is he's doing some stuff with the fam, and he's going to get ready to come on in just a bit. But so Doug, big thing for me right now, local Thursday night league.
Okay, yep.
When you think about your league nights, it's supposed to be fun, right?
Yes.
But sometimes you've got those 1 or 2 people in the league that just want to take it a little bit too serious.
Like you mean like measuring the boards?
Measuring the boards, arguing about matchups, worried about who they're going to play, well, this person on my team, they're not that good, so they're gonna sit this I like
Okay.
I
Oh,
said,
yeah. You guys play teams like that. That's right.
we play teams. So we did a draft and we play teams. And it's literally a bar league that we're playing in like an event hall now. And people are so worried about winning. Do you know what they win at the end, Doug? Do you remember what they win?
Kind of like what I win every week, isn't it?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
that's kind of what I
It's
win.
barely it's bragging rights, and that's about it. And they're so worried about bringing in subs and trying to win. Like, guys, we're here to have fun, So this summer, I might be retiring from that league,
Oh,
but I'm gonna bring back something that I do a lot, Doug, and you've watched it, you've seen it. I'm gonna do the summer driveway series,
okay. Yes.
sponsored by Titan Bags.
Yes. You know what? Last couple league nights for myself, I've been having fun. The fun is back in cornhole. My PPR went up 0.04 the last 2 weeks.
Well, the great thing down here is Backside Athletics out of New York, a good friend, has a beautiful shirt. I saw it last night, and I think I have to order one. And for all of you snowflakes, block your ears right now. It's a MAGA shirt, and it says "Make air mills great again."
Russ Fisher, no. 4.9 would have meant it went down by over a point. I am now at 5.55. I've been throwing over a 7 the last 2. That's what sucks about PPR is it drops really quick, but to get it back up, you're like baby steps to get it back up. It's painful.
Yeah, but the thing with PPR, like for 99% of us, what does it really matter? Hey, Joe Saga, what's going on, brother? But what does it really matter, right? Because here's the thing. I look at something more important than PPR and DPR and SPR, whatever the hell everybody calls it. It's the win-loss column for me. Like, did I win? Did I lose?
The other thing that I'm really happy about is that for the first time ever, you know those 3 numbers, the percentage number, like the bags in, bags on, bags off? The bags in number is the highest.
Did you get a new profile?
No, it's still the old one. It's still the old one. Yep.
Listen, my bags off is my best percentage ever.
Yeah. But like for myself, back when like my career, my ACL career, I'm a 5.24. 2021, 22 season, I was a 4.87. 22, 23, I was a 5.51. Currently, I'm a 5.55. But all of as the PPR has risen, my DPR has also come down. So,
all right, I don't know my ACL stats because I haven't really played a ton of ACL since they started keeping the bigger stats. But I can tell you right now, ready? My score Holio rankings. Ready? You want to hear them? All right. PPR 6.59. That thing is El Fuego right now. 2,149 rounds all time. 5% 4 baggers in, that's 101. 42% in, 3,589 bags. 40% on, 3,403. 19% off, 1,604 bags off the board. And most of those
I don't have the exact numbers off, but for my career, the bags in for the career is 32.48%. Bags on is 33.6%, and bags off is 33.92. So, I'm even.
You're even. Listen, right now, my rounds win versus rounds lost is 904-1 versus 967 lost. 278 tie. So it's right about there. It's about a 50-50 shot.
Yep.
Because Doug, you've seen me throw. I like to block. I like to kind of keep it a little messy. I have to do a little better when I get to and I'm not going to say he's the guy later in the chat or what his or her name is.
Well, he's already in the chat, I think.
You will have to figure it out later, because I'm not telling anybody till we go live at the event.
Exactly. Yes. Now we'll talk. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had the new hat on last week, which is the CK Dirty Birds hat out of Chatham, Kent, and now also out of Wallaceburg. They are now running the Wallaceburg Cornhole League. Seen that put out by Daryl. He's going to be coming on the show. I was hoping to get him on this week for yesterday, but that real job got in the way. But you've got a new hat as well.
I did. If you see this new Scally cap, usually you see me either with a no hat or with a baseball cap. But Boston Scally, listen, Boston Scally, I should really get a sponsorship because I promote your stuff everywhere. This right here, look at that, Doug. Look at that red, white, and blue right there. Look at that little. You see what that is right there, Doug? What is that?
That looks like what I'm holding in my hand right here right now.
That looks like some baseball stitching right there.
Yes.
This is the official Boston Scally, the Uke. So Kevin Youkilis, captain. I'm not going to say former because he's always a captain in my heart of the Red Sox with the red and blue. Scally cap right
and
there.
When you went and said that then got me into. I've got a connection to there because I have right here the first ever baseball that I caught, home run ball that I caught at the Sky Dome, old Sky Dome, whatever kind of dome it is now in Toronto. I was there with another person that I don't really talk to anymore. But yeah, so we're sitting there and it was always like, he was like, that ball's coming. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, that ball's coming. I'm like, oh shit, it's coming. So it comes up and I'm not wearing a glove, but I was a goalie in hockey, catcher in baseball. I'm like, I can catch it. It comes up, line drive. I palm it right there.
Well, Doug, that's your wrist.
Kind of. Well, mid palm, wrist, whatever. And then it goes up in the air. It comes back down. I fingertip it, goes up, comes back down. Fingertip it a second time. Then it drops down. And I'm right above the Blue Jays bullpen at the time. It falls into there was a camera bay if you see in left field. Right. And so then we're in batting practice, no one else is there. And people start showing up, they're all going like, there's a ball. And I'm like, hands off, that's my ball. There's even some people from Boston. I'm like, too bad. That's my ball. Kevin Youkilis hit that ball. That's my ball. So then I have to hold people off for 5 innings. They come down with this big plunger thing that when lights are really high, they can put a suction thing on it, turn the light, bring it off. So the guy goes and gets the ball, brings it up. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's my ball. He walks up to the concourse with it, and I'm like, where are you going with my ball? And then they kind of brought it back. Yep, I did, John. The kid was probably about 8 from Boston. I was like, hey, Kevin Youkilis ball. Too bad. Bad.
You made some poor kid from Boston cry just so you could tell this story tonight.
Hey, it is.
Yeah.
But it's that time, Donnie. We have the special guest of the evening is here.
The man, the myth, the legend.
And it is the second time that he's been on this show, Mr. Jay Rubin.
Jay, before you talk, he's been on this fact for 3 days now since we texted you.
Yeah.
He's claiming all of this.
Well, hey, Donnie keeps saying that he's your best friend and the doghouse this and the doghouse that. Well, you were first on the doghouse September 7th, 2020. Right? Was your first appearance on the doghouse. You were on the Down and Back May 22nd, 2020. So
I did not realize that.
Second place was up for grabs. And you took it.
Jay,
I don't think we'd be best friends now.
Jay, at that time, I did not control the booking.
That's fair enough. You can pass the buck on that one.
When you would come on, that was right after you and Lester had won the I forget which one it was on ESPN, but it was one of the kind of the COVID things where they first were having the whole bag grabbers where you guys couldn't pull.
Yeah, that was in Galveston, Texas.
Yep. So yeah, I was.
Yeah, that was
moons ago.
Was that what the second or third?
Yeah, I think it was the second event that they had. The first one I couldn't go to. I think it was out east in like Connecticut or something like that. But that was the first appearance that we made. Second one that they hosted, and then followed up by Arizona the following week that we went to as well.
Yeah, because that was one of the ones where you could only be there if you were a pro, and
Correct.
you all had to be like sequestered in different areas. And when the other person threw, you had to walk away.
Pretty much.
Unless you were vaping through your mask. Oh, wait. No. Sorry. Wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah, back when we cut, well, I used to. I cut slits everywhere so I could actually breathe. So.
Well, I think I'm trying to remember. I think you almost had like the whole bandana kind of one. I think that you had.
Yeah, so we had a couple different ones. We had the bandana ones, and then I was like, you know what? That just got hot, irritating, especially with facial hair. So I'm like, let's get rid of this. And Dirty Bags made some ones that just covered it. So I was like, you know what? I'm cutting it like right here, and I'm slitting it everywhere so I can breathe, and it's not as miserable.
Well, the thing with it was too is the people picking the bags out of the like they had the friggin' Mary-Made friggin' like plastic gloves that went to like their elbow.
Yeah, it was a little extreme.
We're not
really, when you looked at it, they're pulling both sets of bags out. So really, what was the difference?
Doug, they're not trying to inseminate a horse. I mean, Jesus Christ.
They might as well.
They might as well because they were elbow deep.
Thank God I didn't have that job.
No, you were just throwing the bags.
Yeah, exactly.
But how? So back then, like, because you're a rhythm player, right? You're right there. You usually don't move. You're there with your bags. Did that kind of mess with your timing a bit, or did you kind of have to adjust mentally to make that work?
It was a little bit of a mental adjustment, but it actually worked out. One of my best performances on TV was actually playing Leicester in singles in that tournament. I think I made like 37 out of 40 with some airmails and stuff like that. So I think it kind of, you take that step back, you regroup, refocus, and every shot is like your first shot. So I think it may have actually have helped some players. I know it definitely helped me, during that initial stage of it.
Okay. Now, are you someone that has to plant your feet in the same spot every time, or are you just adjusting to what the board condition is?
So both. So depending on the board speed, the slower it is, the further up that I'll go to the line. The faster the board is, I tend to move back a little bit. So I try to compensate, based on the bags I'm using, more controlled. I'll step a little further back. That way I can zing it a little bit more and get the torque I want on it.
Okay.
And I think that's one thing that I've watched from new people up here is that they're hard at grasping is that when they are throwing it off the back, they're still going right up to that front line and still trying to just throw the same way instead of, let's step back.
Yeah, you can take a step back or even just, putting a little bit more height on your bag, right? That's going to naturally slow it down a little bit too. You can hit the same mark and just get the same type of ride up. But, me, I got a lower trajectory throw. So when that thing's coming, it's watch out for your kneecaps back behind the board because if it's a fast board and I'm ramping, as fast as I normally do, it's either in or it's off.
So are you why Titan made the new Pro Scoremate? Because you would just break tablets by like busting right through it?
I'd be a good spokesperson for that.
Now, bigger question is, have you ever switched bags in a down and back because you just felt the board conditions were just not right? Or do you usually make that decision before you show up at the boards?
No, I've done it multiple times. So what I'll do is before a broadcast, I'll go out there with 2 or 3 different sets and I'll throw 2 bags of each and I'll see how the bags are reacting to the board conditions. And that way I kind of got a gauge of my 1, 2, and 3 of what I want to use going into set match. So yeah, it's definitely something you should go out there and just, play around with a little bit because you never know. When you get out there, you make, it feels fine. And all of a sudden the adrenaline's kicking in and everything else. You're like, you know what? I should have went with that option.
Yeah, because you have to have that adrenaline bag, right? Because once the cameras turn on and the lights are hot and glowing,
yep,
the heart rate goes up, blood pressure starts pumping. Sometimes you put maybe a little too air in the airmail.
You ain't lying. It's happened to everybody. I know the first airmail I ever shot on TV, I had a ton of adrenaline. I'm like, oh yeah, here's your chance. Pop an airmail, and I shanked. So You definitely got to be conscious of it, especially your first couple times up there, because it's a different feel than playing anywhere else that you'd be accustomed to playing.
For me, I'm like that other Netflix special the other night and just deflating my bags like Tom Brady. But
yeah, Doug's taking pellets out.
Yeah, good luck with that, especially if you're playing outdoors at like Spencer's or something like that. It'd be a wounded duck.
My regular throw is just a wounded duck.
Oh,
but I have to, because he asked the question like 5 hours ago, and we said, wait for Jay to come on, but he asked it right away. Keaton McLeod wanted to know your favorite moment as a pro.
My favorite moment as a pro. I mean, it's hard not to say the 20-2 comeback to win the world title. Just the amount of pressure in that. There you go. That situation, that scenario, what was on the line. Like, we couldn't move up in the ranks. I think the best we could have done was maybe tied for second. If not, we got third for sure. But there was a lot riding on that game and, a lot of grit. But, for me, I consider myself one of the best win players, outdoor players, whatever you want to call it, period, with, a handful of other guys, and winning Spencer's with, 1,100 teams or whatever they had to, that's another – big one for me, especially because me and Jordan, even the Crew Cup team, we only lost one match all weekend, maybe like 21-15 in the first game of the double dip to, actually clinch our bracket. So, that's kind of like 1A and 1B, but the 22 would always be number one.
So now, Jay, I know you've had a lot of success throughout the years from, every organization you've played with.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to bring it back to one moment, your highlight reel, one moment, one shot, what would it be?
Highlight reel, one shot.
It goes into the Jay Rubin Cornhole Hall of Fame with that "Let's Go" face right there and a little TV screen right beside it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard not to go to the 20-2 comeback when, I had the game-winning shot with everything on the line in my hands. And then, I erupted in joy and everything else that goes along with it, smacking the ground and pounding my chest and all the other antics that went with it. That is definitely up there. Against Spencer's, I was playing, I think we were playing Eric Davis and Jamie, and the winning round of that match, I hit 3 straight airmails, so that's like, people know me for the airmails, so that kind of sticks out. But hitting that game-winning shot on the other end, 20-2, it's hard to just pick one. I need a whole 30-second clip.
Well, we were also talking about that earlier. There's another guy from Chicago that we might have to put a copyright infringement on because he tried to steal your name.
Well, he's kind of a big deal.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Air Jordan.
Which we said we can, because we can talk with you. We can talk cornhole. We can talk basketball, and then there's even the whole card collector, Jay Rubin, as well. Because I know that you're big into that.
Yeah, I was, and then I kind of got out of it a little bit. I've had some setbacks. I just recently lost my job on top of everything else that's gone on in my life. So, I'm having to make some subtle adjustments to my life, but it's still, a hobby of mine, something that I enjoy doing. And, you can make a little bit of money doing it as well. So, besides cornhole, I just love spending time. Like me and my kids, we went fishing today. They've been bugging me. Can we go fishing? Can we go fishing? I was like, all right. My daughter put a worm on, first cast. She landed a largemouth. I didn't even have to do anything for her. That it came up, it smacked it, took it. She just reeled it in. I was like, oh, all right, well, here we go. So, just
I wasn't in Chicago.
In spirit you were. It's just the simple things in life like that. I had a baseball game with my son earlier today, so now I'm more, family centric that I wasn't before. I mean, I was before, but now that I have all this additional time on my hands, I'm able to do a lot more with, my family.
Well, then, you know what? We talked about that before, Donnie, is that the whole pro thing is you guys were just on the go all the time with the pro, and that there was some players who've stepped back, right? That, because now they've got, they want to make time for family. So is that
but it's even harder right now too, because Jay, when you were playing we're talking like this was friggin' 10 years ago, but it was a year ago. the season was different. It started in October, and it kind of stretched out a little bit. Now that season is compressed.
Yes,
So
it's sure.
At the time when you can spend it with the family,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got your son, your daughter, starting to play baseball, starting to do other activities. In the springtime, right? That time gets eaten up because that's when your season would start.
Correct.
Right? We're starting very late this year, and you're talking instead of 6 or 7 months, you're down to like 4 months. And it eats into all of that kind of family time / growth and everything else. The kids aren't in school anymore. You got more time to spend. It's going to make it harder and harder. And on top of that, I know you didn't have this problem, but others did. Sponsorship opportunities are getting lighter and lighter because that money's getting compressed, right? The season gets compressed, money gets compressed. So, I think it takes a toll. And then when you have other stuff going on in life where, listen, life happens no matter if we're there or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it that much harder. So I applaud you for taking that step back to do what you need to do and really focus on what's important, right?
Yeah.
Your kids are only young ones.
Correct. And, one of the eye openers was last spring and summer. So the schedule that I was on, like I had 50-50 custody in my off season, but during my in season, I only had 2 overnights a week. I didn't have weekends I could spend with them. My son actually didn't play baseball last year, because he wanted me to coach and be there with him. And it was just bad timing. Plus all the litigation stuff I was going through, me trying to make a decision whether I was going to play and in practice and trying to keep everything aligned. It was a bit much, but, in the grand scheme of things, I think for now I made the right decision, so I can put more emphasis on being there for my kids, watching them do things that, otherwise I might have to FaceTime in on something, so it's working out so far for the best. Even though I've got a bunch of hurdles and challenges in front of me, I still don't regret what I did.
Listen, here's the thing. We'll always be here for you. You just got to be there for them right now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing where a lot of people get so lost in this game with trying to get where you were that they lose sight of everything that might have gotten them there or everything that's going to keep them there.
Yeah.
Because listen, I know in my heart of hearts, and Doug will agree with me, when, and I'm not going to say when you come back, it's going to be bigger and better than ever because you're going to be ready. Because here's the thing. The challenge is everything you've gone through over the last year, and we've talked about it offline.
Mm-hmm.
I did get the super secret phone number. Doug didn't. But
hey, like I said, he was number 1 on this show. He was here on the down and back first.
You're not lying about that.
Yeah, Doug, that's so cute. I was first. No, but listen, I think it only helps to your character was always larger than life, and I think it's only going to help you build more and more. Because
you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to have the same desire. So when I set out to be a pro, it was, all right, here's a challenge. Where do you rank amongst the best players in the world at the time, 5 years ago? Right. So I went out there and, the rankings and standings were different then, but based on what they were, I was a top 10 singles player. No, we didn't get to go to one of the nationals. So our record there or ranking there wasn't as high as, I would have liked it to be. But every year was like a new challenge for me. What can you do different? What can you do better? And you know what? I didn't go to opens. You know what I mean? I only have 6 or 7 titles. I played 10 events or 11 championship games on TV, but only X amount of them count for anything, right? But when I was there, whether you saw me at an open or not, which I usually was not at, you usually got your bang for your buck, when a sponsor stood behind me, and me backing them. Because I even told Greba last year, I'm like, look, every company I've been with, I've brought them some sort of hardware. And I'm like, you will get your hardware. I don't know when it'll be, which event it'll be, but you will get that. That is my guarantee. You're believing in me and I'm going to deliver for you.
Yeah. And you did. Listen, You did it twice that weekend.
3 times you've kind of cooked up. Well, if you count Worlds with the shootout.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just talking about that small little tournament in California. What I think it was. I don't know. I'm not going on the record, and you don't have to agree with me, but I think it was almost $96,000 in a month.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Those lines. Listen, do not hold this to me in court because I'm not an expert witness and I will not testify. I will lie my teeth out.
I've already had to take care of that side of things, so they know exactly what I got. After bonuses, it was over 100,000.
Listen, I still got your back. I will lie. I will take the bid.
You're gonna have to edit this part out then.
Yeah. No. I'll take the ride. I'll take the ride. I will go for contempt of court.
Speaking of Spencers, Keaton had another question with if you think that the heavy bags are more popular Spencers this year to help with the wind.
That's a double-edged sword there, right? Because unless you can break them in where, yes, it's heavier, but it's still going to have the same hole forgiveness. Yes, but if they don't, it may be like having, those chunky slide rights back when that's when the only bag you could throw, right? And you're going to get a lot more build up around the hole and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent with that one. I think you want something probably in the middle, maybe a smidge heavier, but I wouldn't want a completely heavier or fuller just for that reason.
I would want a mix fill.
Yep.
A little bit, a lot of small, maybe a 3/4 medium, just to make that kind of bag kind of settle a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, I don't throw bags. I can tell you how to do it, but I can't make it happen. But when you're out at Spencer's, there's so many different conditions you're dealing with based on the way the boards are set up.
Yep.
If you're playing out in kind of left field, you're playing way over by the pavilion, and like if you saw it last year, Jay, where they moved it around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get inside to the broadcast and it's completely different, right?
Correct.
So the bag isn't dancing anymore. So what you were doing outside is maybe not working inside. So you got to go back to some fundamentals and some basics. But if you got put in a different pool, you could have played in almost 4 or 5 different like atmospheres the way the bag was moving.
Yes. So when we did rounders, me and Jordan, the wind, it was actually a crosswind. And we played the Zazueta brothers. That was our first game of pool play. And I was like, all right, well, this is going to be a test. We got crosswind, so we both got to kind of deal with it. And I believe we actually shut them out. And I was like, oh, okay, we're off to like a really good start. We can build momentum. Once you got out of that pool play, the next day when you're in your main bracket, completely different, right? You got the wind in your face and now you got the wind at your back. So what you were doing yesterday is not going to work today. Now it's a completely set of adjustments that you got to make. When we didn't get to play on those sets of boards during pool play. So now we're having to adjust again on the fly. So, and then as you get later in the day, the condensation that gets on the board, that'll slow it down. It'll weten the bag up a little bit, becomes a little bit more tacky or gummy in your hand. So it is definitely a weekend of adjustments. And, the cream typically rises to the top at that type of tournament.
Well, there was 3 live stream boards last year. Take it the ACL like main stage one out later at night, but each one of those boards played differently because the Ultra board was out in the weather on the ocean side. The Titan one was on the pavilion side, blocked by a little bit of wind, and the ACL court went kind of back and forth. So like every time you played on one of those courts, you were playing a completely different game.
And a different set of boards.
Yeah, a completely different set of boards. Not the greatest boards in the whole wide world. Put the X Factor in your games, www.titancornholebags.com.
Yeah, but I mean, that was exactly it. You could be playing on X Factors, and then it's like, all right, well, next game, you win your first game of that little mini playoff. Now you got to go and play one more game on another set of courts somewhere on the Ultra court, let's say. Now that's going to play completely differently. You know what I mean? So, and the wind could change over there, right? Based on, one was this way, one was kind of running this way. It was like almost like a U-shaped area.
Well, but even with that, the courts we played in the middle were also on turf.
Correct.
So you got a little bit, no matter what board you played on, you got a little bit of bounce factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you played on the outside, where you were on some of the other games where you played the Asueta brothers, you were on tar.
Correct.
right? So the board maybe played a little truer, maybe the concrete, the tar was a little off. So there was those micro adjustments.
They're definitely more than micro for the entire weekend. I mean, your average fan that's going out there and just playing for the experience and stuff like that. I mean, you got to be really prepared to adjust your game, on the drop of a dime, because one game to the next, it could be drastically different. Even just timing, because usually when I'd say anywhere between 3 and 4 o'clock, somewhere in that range, like the boards slowly start to get a little bit of dew on them, and as the sun's coming down a little bit, and that completely changes everything. So you got to almost get as far as you can through the winter side of the bracket, kind of help make it up on the back end, because you don't want to keep playing on those conditions later in the night when you're not sitting in the driver's seat.
Well, the thing with it is too, last year when you were in tier 1, if you were there in the morning, the boards also had that condition, because when we came in, like we literally had to cover all of our recording equipment, because when we came back the next day, the towels and stuff we put over it was wet.
Yep.
So you get that overnight dew from the ocean, and then it kind of burns off. Middle of the day, you're going to get a massive sunburn if you're not wearing a big hat and, sunblock. But then at night, it kind of comes back to that.
Correct. It's an all-day adjustment. It literally is.
You're playing seasons.
Correct. Yeah, it's like living in Chicago. It's 42 in the morning, it's 87 in the afternoon, and it's 36 at night.
Yeah, and you might still have your wallet at the end.
Well, I'm trying to is Keaton asking this question because the weekend of Spencer's, he's going to be doing a live feed with me at the Canadian ACL Canada National Championship. So is he planning on going to Spencer's, because he's supposed to be?
Is there another country out here? What?
I don't know, eh?
Bruce Hawkins said this is going to be the best Spencer's tournament ever, which I think it's because you don't have your plans to go yet, do you, Donnie?
Once again, I don't have a ticket yet to Spencer's.
So maybe is that why?
Usually, Jay, you know what happens every year at Bag and Bash? I have to play the boss for my ticket to be in. Last year, it was mini bags.
Okay.
I had to be careful because we were up on the stage, and I think we played at like 10 o'clock at night.
After 112 beers each.
Yes.
There's another component.
There's another. Well, there was no wind. There was no wind, but it was inertia.
I believe it.
It was right after I took $20 from a certain pro that I still have hanging up over there, because I'm not going to say he's from the Carolinas, and I took his money, but I did lose to the blind squirrel.
That happens once in a while.
Yeah. Listen, that kid, I don't care what he puts in his hand. He throws a stupid bag, and I'm going to smoke him soon.
Good luck with that. You play outdoors. I would say go outdoors, but he's a good outdoor player.
Listen, I remember, I think it was it, I forget, I think it was Albany or something where you showed up, where I think I lost $20 to you. Where we were.
I didn't go to Albany.
It was another. Oh, no. You know what it was? What was the one we played in the mountains there? Friggin' Asheville.
Oh, Asheville.
I think you took money from me in Asheville, so I'm going to have to come back for that money.
Your chance to beat me is now, and it's still less than 0.001%.
Well, here's the thing. I think you threw, I think it was 4 rounds. You didn't miss a bag. And I think I might have, I'm going to say scored, because I got points, but you subtracted from your points. I think I scored I think I scored maybe 6 or 7 points, but you beat me 21-0. It was not pretty.
I'm going to say, for all you talking about taking money from all these people, you've never taken money from me. So,
Well, Doug, I feel bad.
There's a little friendly competition about to happen here, folks.
Listen, Rubin, me and him up in Canada, we brought out the Jekyll slides.
Oh, fun.
And we were playing we were playing Jekyll slides. Everybody else was playing different bags.
I'll play you guys. We'll do maybe a charity game. I'll throw the nutsack bags. You guys throw the Jekyll slides.
All right. $100 goes to charity. Loser pays.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Next time we're all in a room together, we're gonna have to get with Greba and make sure we can get those sent over to us. But
listen, Bruce is already talking about it. They were called the unicorn bags, but they were like a nutsack.
That's Bruce. He knows. I beat a pro 21-0 using those bags when they use normal bags.
Well, Jay, just so you know that I tried to like hide those in my RV to take them back with me. And I think Ben ripped apart half the RV trying to find them. He's like, "Where are these bags?" I was like, "Oh, I thought you gave them to me."
I love those things.
Dude, they were so
so much fun.
And then Candy says that you let her beat you at Worlds in the RV tournament.
Yeah.
Well,
it was pitch black. I can't even tell you how many drinks later, but we had some fun.
Dude, some of those RV tournaments, like you're in the middle of a pitch black parking lot, like they barely even have a light on the side of the RV.
Yep.
They can see anything. It's like, and then they brought the scooters out at one point too.
I don't even remember that part. I don't know if I was there or not there, but I don't even remember that.
She said, because you love her.
I do love you, Candy.
Candy's my girl.
Yeah, I think all the times I played Trey, it was in the dark as well too, Donnie. So just saying with those there.
It's all muscle memory at that point. I actually played pretty good in the pitch black. I mean, I think we lost to Bernasette, and Bernasette was like unconscious, and it was pitch black. And I was like, well, I mean, it was just a fun blind draw, but still the competition side of you wants to win.
Yeah, I think, I know why you lost. Bruce probably ran it.
I couldn't even tell you that part either.
So the other thing I have to ask you,
the
other thing I have to ask you is because we talk about these. There's a music show that my cousin does up here that a lot of those people come to watch this show as well. A couple guys are in the Chicago area. Where is a good place for them to go and play? I think they're up near in the Joliet area.
So there's Monday night. So from Joliet to this place I'm about to recommend is about 40 minutes away, depending on traffic. The place that Man Cave Mondays used to do their outdoor venue, they're now doing a blind draw there through like David Morris and Miguel Villa. It's all like an ACL swap type thing. And then what they'll do is spin the wheel and say there's 10 categories. That's how they're going to decipher how the partners are going to be paired up. So it can be PPR, DPR, whatever it may be. But I would definitely check out that place on a Monday. Tuesday nights and the rest of the week, I really don't know anything just because I don't go out there and play anymore. But I would look up Southside Baggers or get a hold of David or Miguel, and they can point you in the right direction because I'm sure they got something going every day of the week.
Yeah, I know Miguel is always on when people are posting. He's always talking about Scoreholio and looking up and other things and ACL stuff that he does.
Yeah.
He's the most famous guy that never made a broadcast, but was always on the broadcast.
You're not lying about that one. Good people, though.
He's a great guy. I love him to death.
Yeah. He let me take over for him at Worlds last year when he had to go play. So I got to sit with Mr. Corey Russell and do games from Worlds. So that was fun for me.
No, but so Jay, I hope to see you back soon. Listen, I hope, listen, here's the thing. They don't put us through what we can't handle.
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. Life's been a giant punching bag for me.
But guess what? You're going to come out bigger, badder, and better on the other side.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll honestly get back out there and play on the pro side. Just for what it takes to maintain that level, right, wherever people want to put me. And to compete at a high level, to win championships, which is what ultimately I want to do. I'm not just going out there to party. Yeah, you can have some fun, but that level of dedication, full-time job, like this game is gravitating towards, just the younger generation where there's less responsibilities on their plates. And there's nothing wrong against it. I was just, 10, 15 years too late where, I could have thrived for years. And until me as a man and as a businessman, right, running my own business with Rubin, without being able to secure sponsors for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, where I'm guaranteed the money, regardless of my performance is below par or above par, I don't see myself coming back in a scenario that doesn't meet that. I'm going to need some security there, right? Just to be able to go out there and do it, because I can bank on me getting this money, try to give my kids a better life, because you know what, I'm going to be taken away from them as well. So it's going to have to be financially rewarding, and that's where I would need something like that. But the game isn't there, so never say never. But looking through the 8 ball right now, I would tell you I'll probably never go back to being a pro.
Well, here's the thing, though. You can have the best open partner in the whole wide world.
I know. I was going to ask.
It's not you, Donnie. It's not you, Donnie.
Listen, we can travel the country and just hustle people like white men can't jump. Like, Donnie can't throw bags, and we'll just hustle people around the country if they're not watching.
All they got to do is watch you throw. I can fix a game real quick.
So we would talk more about, let's kind of switch up just to kind of talk about some fun stuff, because I know you're a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
I've got to say, because of my luck going to Raptors games this year, who is your go-to guy to watch now? So I know that if I'm going to be at a game, same game as you, not to go to it, because it seems like my kid wanted to go see Charlotte this year to see LaMelo Ball. He gets hurt right before they come to play in Toronto. John Morant comes back. I get tickets to go see Memphis.
Yeah.
He gets hurt in practice, like right before they play in Toronto, and we got like courtside tickets for watching everyone else. So who's your guy in the NBA right now? Because there's a lot of Canadian guys now that are
honestly, I would say Ant-Man. And he's definitely the way to go. He's worth the price of admission just based on what I've watched on TV. I've never got to see him play in person. But, I mean, obviously Minnesota's having a lot of success in the playoffs that people didn't know if it was going to translate regular season to postseason. But from what I'm seeing from him, he's the real deal. I think that's somebody to definitely grab a ticket and go watch.
Yeah, I was telling Donnie before, I did have here to kind of show off as well, too. I was the first time LeBron scored 50 points was in Toronto, and I was actually at the game. I had like nosebleed seats in the game, but I was there. But it was like, and it was just, for me at that point, it was just
I never got to see him play in person. I never got to see Kobe, and I never got to see MJ play in person. The 2 times I went to Bulls games, it was both during Jordan's little retirement. So I got to see the supporting cast.
Wait a minute, but can I get you back for a pro invitational if I can get you to play in like Super Shot with Jordan as your partner?
Absolutely. I already tagged Spencer's with the little one that they're going to do. I was like, why not put me out there?
Well, maybe have you come back if, ACL kind of does basketball players instead of football players?
Yeah. Look, I'd love to go out there and compete, whether I put them all in the hole or I make 50% of the bags, just to go out there and have that experience, because there's still people that are, when are you coming back? We miss seeing you out there. Going to pro tournaments isn't the same without you there. You hear all that stuff, and it's like, it'd be cool. Like if I signed up to go play an open, I would have a pretty good fan base that would just tune in. Like they would be tuning in, right? But, they would be tuning in to see me on a broadcast court because nobody's seen me play in a while. So yeah, it'd be fun to get out there and, compete a little bit on, whatever level it may be.
Well, we still kind of see you throw like the sidewalk games every once in a while that you kind of put that out. So then, speaking of the sidewalk stuff, what's your favorite non-cornhole thing to throw in there? Because you used to throw like everything.
Yeah, I definitely throw everything. Are you talking in terms of bags?
Or even your non-cornhole bag thing because we used to do those other special videos where you were like throwing like food and
you're talking about like the trick shot videos and stuff. Yeah, so that was the chicken wings and hot dogs and bologna that I was doing on the sidewalk of my old house. That was kind of fun to do. Actually, when we were out at Spencer's, I played a game against a couple of buddies that I was staying with, and I was only going to bounce bags off the turf, and my partner could throw a normal bag. The opponents can throw a normal bag. I lost 1 game all night. My first game, I averaged probably just under an 11. It was stupid. but it was a lot of fun. So, I mean, I love doing random stuff like that, or playing at a chair game where we both got to bounce it off a chair, like something completely random. You know what I mean? Kind of levels the playing field a little bit, but you get to have fun and do something different.
All right. So, Jay, pre-stamp, what was your go-to bag? Pre-stamp.
Pre-stamp rubies.
Rubies.
Yeah.
Which, ooh, I loved my rubies back then.
My Ruby Reigns. You know, Ruby, she gave me my first opportunity. So naturally, I'm going to have a soft spot for her and what she did for me. You know, she couldn't provide me a ton of money or anything like that, but bags I needed, or she would send me bags that, you know, I could sell off to people and make $5 or $10 a set or whatever it was. But when I first started, that's the bag that kind of put me on the map, even before the all slide. You know, that's me and Steve Bernasette. You know, Bernasette actually kind of turned me onto it, as well as a local guy by the name of Pete. And that bag was just magical in my hand. I liked the faster bag when I first started. The boards were a little bit slower when I first started, so it really worked. And honestly, that's how I figured out my flat bag was with that one. So I'll go with that one all day.
So
I got to tell you, there's someone around here locally that has a set of like rubies from like 2017, 2018.
Yep. Ruby Rain. Scott Lane used to throw them a ton too, I believe.
It was someone because we had bought them. I think Matt Plila bought them at Worlds in 2018 down in Cherokee.
She used to go down to Worlds every single year, and then she stopped doing it. Actually, the first year I was a pro, she stopped going down to Worlds for it.
One of the first set of bags I had was the Ruby All Weathers in orange, and it was one of the first tournaments I ever won because it started to rain. And I ran to the car to get them. I'm like, I have the perfect bag for this. And it was like my first ever like podium. I was so excited. I actually donated those bags to Reggie Ricks from Iowa.
Yeah.
His mother Ruby. I think you have a jersey up there because I saw your jersey
there.
Yeah, I was like, I have to one up them. So I donated a set of orange all-weather rubies to the bar because his mom's name is Ruby. So I'm like, it has to be, I have to leave them here in this bar.
That's why she got the jersey as well. They may even have got a set of bags, but I definitely remember doing the jersey. So that was your first podium pick and your last one? Yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think I can take you now.
I'm sure you could.
I've seen your hallway videos.
I'll give you the little tour of it real quick. You can see what I deal with. I got to turn the light on, but you guys can get the first-hand look of what I actually deal with when I practice.
Is this going to turn into another Bruce video where he's like 26 rooms and he hasn't?
No, Rubin does not have
26 doors and hasn't come to the same room twice.
So that's front of the board to the other front of the board. So obviously you can see I got the little railing there, the side walls. I got a lot of action, but this is the toughest side, is throwing outside arm, because when I'm standing here, I got that. So when I try to do like a cut shot or even a roll shot, I got clearance in terms of my arm, but where the bag would come up, I'd be hitting that.
So is that like your field of vision when you're really playing? Is that what kind of gives you that kind of mental edge?
No, I wouldn't say it gives me any mental or competitive edge. I mean, I just know how to zone in when it comes to, you know, the confinements of the actual size of the court. I can narrow that in and be just fine. I've made over 100 bags however many times in a row in this house. But I don't always bring that mentality out there because it's a different feel and a vibe. Sure, you'd love to do it on camera, you know, for a national or something like that. But at that point, it's all about winning games. And, you know, if they had a hallway type tournament, yeah, it'd probably be the best in the world because I'm used to it. But
wait a minute, probably.
No, I'm sure there's somebody else to be just as good.
No, I think you take it down because
Alice is shooting good. Gavin's shooting good. I mean, there's some other guys out there that could do it.
All right, now
maybe not in my house, but you know,
we're gonna set up. I'm gonna set up some fake like hallway scenes, so now people have to play. You've made my new show.
There you go. I mean, you could always play like Ghost 10 with, you know, this type of setup. You know, don't hit the ceilings, the walls, and
ghost railing.
I've done trick shots from here. At the bottom of these steps, I've shot over the loft, and I had a board set up in there, and my daughter counted. I think I hit like 5 or 6 in a row, thrown from the bottom of the steps and over a loft.
So now we talk about the focus, and that just kind of triggered something in my head here, because
Yeah.
we've got so many new players here in Canada now, up here with us, where all of our big events, I'm doing the live stuff for the ACL Canada, and a lot of them are talking about, that they're trying to focus, but they can still hear me talking or whatever. How did you kind of deal with that with the broadcast courts there when you were on like the big stage?
So early, my first ever TV appearance, I wore headphones. And I wore headphones because the lack of music or lack of my taste in the music that was being played, and nobody wants to hear a bag hitting a board 100 times, at 100 different courts simultaneously, right? And that's just kind of annoying. So that's why I started with headphones. But then during COVID in that Galveston tournament, I could hear Trey Ryder discussing everything on the play-by-play. And when I was playing Leicester, and he mentioned that, I'm running out of words what I'm seeing to describe Jay Rubin. And that airmail I talked about that I missed, my focus went there instead of staying here, right? Had I kept it here, maybe I would have made it, maybe I wouldn't have, irrelevant. But I tuned it in there. And I was like, from this moment on, when I went back and I watched that match, I'm like, you got to tune out everything else is around you and stay dialed into your court, because nothing else out here matters. Only thing that matters is here in the box, back and forth. And so, I would just flip that switch, and everything that happened. It was a fun run. It was magical at times.
So then, did you ever have issues with, and I know with some of the big live feed stuff, you don't have anyone that's walking behind, but here, sometimes we don't have the backdrops or off to the side.
Yeah.
Deal with the people walking across the back of the boards. Did you ever kind of have to mentally refocus with that?
Well, Jay,
no.
In Canada, they also walk in front of the cameras too at the same time.
Oh, well, hopefully with clothing on. No, I never had really much of an issue with that. Sometimes there could be, a spouse or friends that gather to kind of watch a game, whether they're yours or, the opponent's people. And sometimes they get up and they're holding up cameras, and then they move and they shift angles. And then sometimes if they're directly behind the boards, you can kind of lose a little bit of focus. But what I tried to do is not pay attention to that. And I just focused on my bag flight and the hole. So it took out any of the surrounding, things that could help me lose my focus, right? I took all that away, and, that helped me just stay kind of dialed in.
Yeah, that's something I can't do when I play. It's squirrel, and I'm just all over the place.
ADD.
Well, Doug, his bags are going in the hole. Yours are boring a hole under the board.
I'm when he was talking about that, where he had to bounce it off the turf, I'm getting that roll shot now. So I'm starting to really kind of get that in, where I can roll it on the ground up the board. So as long as we can get the ACL start allowing those shots, I'll be golden.
You just it's like a bank shot that you don't mean to call, but you got to call glass. You got to call turf.
Yep.
You got to call turf, because Doug, you can't even, like, your step shot is falling over.
Sometimes.
But Jay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you've got a lot on your plate right now. It's probably a platter, not even a plate, with all the stuff you've been going through. But listen, just to let you know, the reason we wanted to bring you on, because we love you to death, and we want to let you know that there's a lot of people out here that still want to talk to you. Look at the chat.
Well, I can't see the chat, but I'll assume you're correct.
I will tell you you're correct. The people love you. Listen.
Well, and people have been asking to have him on as well. So it's,
Oh, good. I'm glad it worked out.
Give the people what they want.
Is there any lingering questions from anybody that wasn't addressed already, or? I
think we kind of got them all. I think.
Okay.
Kyle Hill was saying they want to see a Thrasher in your hand again.
It's one of my that'd probably be in my top 5 favorite bags of all time. Is that red Thrasher I had?
Crystal Hagen's one of our pros up here was saying hey to you in the chat as well. But yeah.
Well, thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate it.
Listen, I love you to death. I I want you and need you to come back just for me because you are my spirit animal. I was telling Doug we have a picture together that I don't remember taking.
I think there's a lot of pictures you don't remember taking.
I might have been sleeping on a couch.
I'm kind of getting that.
I definitely have that picture. That was post Spencer's at the house right before I had to depart and catch a 3 a.m. flight or whatever the fuck it was.
Listen, I partied so hard with you winning the world championship that I might have gassed myself out a little bit.
I don't know how I did it either because I was out till 5:30 in the morning. I was doing ESPN interviews at 9 a.m. and then played at noon. So I don't know how I did it.
Well, I just know there was one point in the evening where I just tapped out and laid on the couch and went to bed. And I woke up to pictures that you were sending me of me just out.
Yeah, you were out like a light.
And you and the whole party around me as I slept.
Yeah, and I wasn't even there for more than an hour, maybe 2 max. So, I mean, it didn't take long before you crashed.
Oh, we thought he was up in Drummondville at the Open up that we had up here. He was like, "Oh, I'm going back to check in at a hotel," and then we didn't see him for the rest of the night. Like I didn't see him until the next morning, and that was at like 6:00 at night.
Jay, I tried to order dinner in Canadian, and I got like 3 hamburgers. I don't know how it happened.
In French, we get like 3 meals.
So. That's hilarious.
They handed me an entire tray. I'm like, I only got 1 meal.
They're welcoming you to the country.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Oh,
well, they weren't going to allow him back in either.
Candy and Bruce are talking about the tuxedo pizza box.
I don't remember that.
I don't know if you were there for that, but there was Pizza Man Dan. I don't remember it either. But one of the pizza boxes we got had a tuxedo on the inside of it. And I guess maybe somebody imbibed in a lot of adult beverages and cut the pizza box up and wore it as a tuxedo.
Oh, that a boy.
Yeah.
I got to see those pictures.
I think Candy and Bruce have them. Listen, if there's anything I'm there for the party.
Oh, I'm going to call Bruce. I was already going to talk to Bruce after.
Candy's saying she's going to send you the picture. She's already saying they're on their way. So.
Thank you, Miss Candy. I appreciate it.
But, listen, but you know,
I'm pretty damn sexy.
I'm saying the same thing as Donnie. I loved having you on. I was wanting to kind of get you back on even the regular show, but this is just even better to be able to have the fans be able to kind of come questions for you, watch you live here. But I think that's just awesome. And you know what? I hope you come back again. And you talk about maybe not coming back as a pro, but how about coming back as like an announcer? Kind of doing
yeah, you know what? A lot of people wanted me to try to do that. And they're like, you got a great voice. You know, you understand the game at a high level, you know, this, that, and the other. And, you know, it's something that I've considered. You know, I did a few podcasts with Isley, and I was going through one of the lowest parts of my life at that time. And I'm like, I got to step away. My head's not in it. Like I'm invested, but I'm not invested, right? Not as good as I know I can be. But it's something when the stars start to align a little bit better for me, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to getting out there and, you know, maybe getting on an ACL live stream somewhere, you know, at a national or open and, you know, possibly doing some commentating with somebody. And, you know, if it leads to opportunities where maybe I'm on TV calling matches instead of playing, who knows, you know, but, you know, I put a lot of energy into this game. You know, I've given a lot to this game. This game's given a lot to me. And, you know, we're not like the MLB, NBA, NFL, where you can almost have a direct path right into a broadcasting or journalism type of career. But you never know. We could be, you know, we're in the beginning stages of it, and maybe that pipeline opens up one day.
Well, Jay, there is a small podcast that used to be one of the biggest cornhole podcasts in the entire world that somebody might own the rights to. And, you know, listen, we can talk. We might be able to bring back the world's greatest thing ever.
Is that the one that was second place?
Well, it was always up for grabs, Doug's, and you all took it.
Well, you took it, and you just took it. That's all you did. You just took it.
Well, that's the one I've probably been on the most. That's for sure.
That's for sure. The greatest podcast, not the 2 fat kids, not the guy from Canada.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so
never said anything was wrong with it. Never said anything was wrong. I just said it just wasn't number one.
But Jay, for going on a live feed anytime you want to come to Canada, come on live feed. I know Keaton and I would love to have you sit in with us on the ACL Canada live feeds, but for that there. But anytime, anytime you want to come on here as well, just
no, I appreciate it. You know, I love doing podcasts. I love getting out there and talking, spreading whatever knowledge, or just shooting the shit. You know, financially right now, you know, things aren't aligned without the job to, you know, go and fly somewhere and, you know, hop in and do something like that where I had that expendable income before. But, you know, hopefully sometime down the future, you know, I might be able to do something like that for, you know, a couple of weekends here or there.
Okay, well, we hope to see you on. We'll hold the line there, and we'll. I guess we'll be back next week, Donnie. I don't think I got anything going
next
on.
week, but friends, listen. If you're in the Chicagoland area and you want one of the sexiest men in cornhole to work for you, reach out, because guess what? When Jay Rubin is working for you, we're throwing bags for you. Second place is always up for grabs.
Again, Bag and Bash is coming. But hey, everyone else, just be nice to each other. Don't get all upset at tournaments. And as another music podcast on Sunday says, don't litter.